Okay, so the topic here is drought, and the context is that yes, there is a drought occurring in the American West, which, according to scientists, is the worst drought in 1,200 years. So it's been 1,200 years since we've had a 20-year period that is this dry. And so lots of hand wringing and oh, all this drought, lots of focus on the problem, but hardly any focus on what could be actual solutions to this drought that's going on in the American West. So let's look at the meme and see what it has to say. Most people are unaware of how forests cause rain. So forests causing rain, this has many different aspects to it. The most innovative, cutting-edge science in this regard comes to us from Anastasia Makareva, a scientist from Eastern Europe, who put forth this theory, the biotic pump. So forests actually bring rain. They actually pull rain to them. Part of it is that they put up Aerobacter bacteria, which is a precipitation nucleus, which is able to cause condensation. And so, related to the American West, if we had more trees and functioning grasslands in the American West, it would actually, not only bring rain, functioning forests tend to create a wind. It's the biotic pump. It creates a wind that draws the rain toward the forest. So it says, we're having a lot of drought right now and have had numerous large forest fires in recent years. We are driving a cycle of deforestation, drought, and desertification. So drought, if you accept this triad, deforestation, drought, desertification, the media talks about drought, but they don't talk about how deforestation causes drought, and they don't talk about how, what's the other thing? Desertification. So deforestation causes desertification, which causes drought. If the ground is bare and cannot absorb the water, then that causes drought. That diminishes the rainfall, and it diminishes the ability of the ground to hold on to the rain that does fall. Look at it this way. If the ground is hard and compacted because it doesn't have sufficient plants in it, then when it does rain, it floods. The rain does not soak into the ground. It does run off quickly, which is the very definition of a flood. So, ironically, droughts and floods go hand in hand. You think of a flood, it's like, oh, this water, we've got too much water. But then the next day, it's gone. Or the next week, it's gone. And it's almost as if it never rained because the ground was not able to soak up the water. It says here, but mainstream media and climate journalism gives very little attention to the effects of deforestation. They don't give it the attention it deserves. They don't give it the attention that they would give it if they were giving adequate coverage to the causes of drought. So it's like all this drought what are we going to do about this? And they blame it on CO2. All this drought, you scrape the ecosystems off the land, you spray the soil with herbicides, you put chemical fertilizers on the soil, which destroys the integrity of the soil. You get compaction. The ground is no longer able to absorb the rainfall, and then you blame it on CO2. So they want to blame everything on CO2. As a result, farmers, citizens, and policymakers are confused. They're confused about what causes drought and how much control we have over the solution. This is agency. Agency means the ability to do something about it. Agency means you're not a victim. Of course, you're a victim in the short term, but in the long run, we create the conditions for rainfall or we create the conditions for drought. We create the conditions for desertification, or we turn the ground into a sponge that is able to soak up the rain so that ground that is rich with water is going to be more likely to bring more rain for multiple reasons. For one thing, that ground is going to be cooler. For another thing, that ground with the plants is emitting the aerobacter, which tends to cause precipitation. And so there's much we can do, but we must first identify the problem. A problem identified is half solved. In fact, Einstein supposedly said, this has been attributed to Einstein, that if I had an hour to save the world, I would spend the first 55 minutes figuring out what the problem is, and then the other 5 minutes doing something about it. We have to understand the problem, or we're not going to solve the problem. If we do understand the problem, we can solve the problem acre by acre, square mile by square mile. Every residential lot, every farm, every pasture, every crop field, every forest can be part of the solution to the drought in the American West. Please click like and subscribe.